So this is my observation. So that's the reason I want to try to ask them to change. So branding is some sort of effective to focus on their business. They're going to get profit in next 10 years instead of next year.
Yeah.
So my concern is, okay, how are we going to invest money for branding? This is okay, this year what they're going to do, next year what they're going to do, or this I'm clear. Okay, every year try to make a marketing effort. Actually, the company salespeople try to sell their product and they try to develop marketing, but actually branding is kind of vision.
Yes.
And they don't make investment to how to build branding. Just actually they try to hold branding concept within their mind, and actually the activity is like a marketing.
It's actually kind of because it seems like sometimes it flares up a little bit and then it dies down.
For example, one example I gave you. Okay, Google, Amazon, they prepared AWS, big software framework. I don't know how many programmers they hired, thousand people. But actually they consider for the past 5 years ago, they tried to build AWS. Okay, so this is sort of branding or long-range strategic branding.
AWS, Amazon, you mean?
Yeah,
Not Google.
yeah,
I thought you said Google. You said Amazon? Amazon. Okay, sorry.
And they decided 5 years ago to build a big system. Okay.
But actually, that was more or less coincidental. I believe that AWS came into existence because actually Amazon needed a very strong infrastructure, and they decided that were going to do it themselves, and it became so good and so scalable that they thought, oh, why don't we resell it? Because actually this could be a good money driver. I think it was not really strategy. That was more or less coincidental. It was a side effect of the
fact.
But
AWS itself is compared with Amazon name. AWS is another brand.
Yeah, of course. Well, basically because they don't want the Amazon brand to suffer if AWS screws up and vice versa.
But they consider they tried to build AWS 5 years ago. They invest tremendous amount of money.
Yes, and they had the best customer that they could get themselves. So they wanted to use their own services. They were relying on their own services to build the biggest e-commerce platform in the world.
This is not marketing. This is actually the investing for branding.
Yes. Well, I'm not. No, it's not.
Maybe IBM has kind of slogan. Maybe
Hitachi, Inspire the Next, for example. They have it in Japan. They are trying to kind of like put everything that Hitachi is doing together, and they have a slogan. They don't really advertise their products, individual products. They do that sometimes, but most of the advertisement that you see on television or in the train is just that
Inspire?
Inspire the Next. Yeah.
Inspire the Next.
Yeah.
Well, what is the gap among Hitachi Inspire the Next versus Amazon AWS?
Well, I think Amazon AWS is just an awesome service that has been put into place.
Money?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just a very, very good product. I'm not really sure how they brand it. It's basically it's not unique, but that is maybe in a sense.
Always I'm talking about, for example, NEC. Okay, they decided to invest money to D-Wave, Canada, and they try to build quantum computer system. They will hire 500 programmers, but they try to build some quantum computer image of NEC. But my feeling is, oh my God, this is too small, and 100 times overseas company bigger, 1,000 times bigger for investment. So branding is sort of big scale or some transformational change sort of thing need to be followed.
Well, maybe sometimes it can help that if you build a product. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest.
Do you understand what I mean? Or they just try to prepare ad balloon. They try to prepare slogan, but the slogan is actually they don't following Money.
That's terrible. Yeah, no. I mean, but actually, so if you are building a brand, but the first thing you need to do when you build a brand is that you need to align everything in your organization to support your brand message.
Last week you told me just money first, right? I thinking about what you mean, what you said, money investment, right? But this is what this means is like AWS, it's like IBM investment, Google investment. Tremendous money they invested for building brand.
Yeah.
But Japanese company, IT companies, they do not.
Right. Well, actually, to be fair,
Like Inspire something, right?
but there is no startup. There's no company who's at the startup investing a whole lot into their brand. And this is something. Usually, it's an afterthought. I mean, if you start a company and you are just 2 people, 3 people, okay, maybe you want to invest in a logo or think about, okay, why are we doing this? But for most companies, they just build this awesome product and then they're trying to sell it, and lo and behold, they find a few customers. Then they build up a business model because their customers are enthusiastic. Then they find other customers.
I tell you one example: Trump Tower. Okay, Trump Tower. He just tremendous money investing for Trump Tower in Moscow, in Canada, Toronto or somewhere, and he just building Trump Tower is brand image. This big scale investment he made.
Yeah.
That just I consider for the last week you told me, oh, brand is just I told you it's not money investment. This is just building image of the company. But this is not true. I said just last week you said should money should follow. Big scale of investment should follow.
Well,
otherwise, like Hitachi say something, NC something. They cannot build brand.
It's not only money. It's money. It's basically everything that you do from that point onwards needs to support your brand image. If otherwise, your brand will not.
Yeah, of course, I agree with you. Brand image, okay, brand image is money should follow. Okay, how they're going to make commitment for this brand?
So you need to make indeed you need to make commitments. For example, to which customers you are aiming to find. That also means that you sometimes you need to say no and go into certain directions, because what I feel is that a lot of Japanese companies have a tendency to go for low-hanging fruit. So to basically, they are not making long-term strategic investment into a certain customer group. They are looking at, okay, what is most profitable? Point in case, Sharp. They invested heavily in developing TV panels. They got Apple as a customer, and basically they had a very good thing going. They had the most advanced technology, but as soon as the Japanese government announced that they were going to switch to digital television, and they were going to give people subsidies in order to buy digital television, so to make the transition smoother, the television market in Japan became bigger. Sharp changed from providing screens for Apple. They immediately changed them away and started to produce flat panel television for the Japanese market. At the end, when the subsidies were running out, the demand for Sharp televisions was sharply decreasing. Apple could not have been satisfied in this period when the production moved away to flat screen televisions. So they lost Apple as a customer, and they basically did not generate any profit anymore from their televisions. As a result,
no, that case is I think they misjudgment for investment, not the branding. Branding.
No, what they did is that actually they changed their strategy halfway through just to get a little bit more profit in the short run. They're making a very big investment into flat screen televisions. They should have focused and stay in that market. They were doing very, very well.
But this is not branding.
No, well, what they did is actually that goes against what their long-term strategy should have been. If you want to build up a brand, you need to be very firm on, this is my strategy, this is the way that I'm going. I'm not going to go halfway through and just pick a little bit of money here and there and everywhere. because that's how you lose your brand. That's basically how you lose the value of your company. That's when it becomes more profitable to cut up a company and to take the
This is
good things
so-called
out.
3 years prospect.
But that's
Not 10
killing
years,
for a
not
brand.
10 years.
That's killing for a brand.